I spent over 20 years in the FAA and rose from an electronics technician to a district manager, overseeing over 300 employees across 3 states. Along the way, I noticed dozens of technical professionals getting promoted into leadership roles. And most of them, they struggled, and some failed completely. Today I'm going to tell you my story, how a great technician did not make an amazing manager, and what he did to turn it around. My name is Ivory Cooper. Before I dive into my journey, let me tell you a little bit about where I came from. I'm a U.S. Navy veteran, electronics technician, highly technical role, lots of training, lots of precise work. The Navy taught me discipline, and the Navy taught me the importance of paying close attention to detail, as well as looking at things from a systems point of view. After the military, I joined the Federal Aviation Administration as an aviation technical systems specialist. A high stakes, very technical role, the equivalent to electronics technician in the Navy. And I was good at it, and I really enjoyed it. And like most technical professionals, I thought that's where my career would stay, just to continue getting better on the technical side. But then something happened that changed everything. I got promoted to facility manager. Now, if you've ever been in that position where you go from being a peer to a supervisor, it can be quite jarring. You know, for example, on Friday, you know, you're one of the guys, you're hanging out with the crew. Then on Monday morning, you know, you're the manager. And suddenly, you know, all those relationships you had, they changed. Yeah, they shifted. Conversations changed. Expectations are different. I remember my first week as a facility manager, and I remember driving into work, and I remember saying to myself, you know, this is going to be a pretty easy job. You know, I know this job. I've been doing it for a while. I'm just going to go in there, and you know, I'll just show everyone, you know, exactly what needs to get done. You know, that was my thought process. Wrong. Definitely wrong. Definitely wrong. Because leadership isn't about being the best technician or the best employee in the room. Leadership is about knowing how to get the best out of everyone in the room. And no one taught you that. No one taught me that. I wasn't equipped with that my first day, my first week, you know, my first year as a frontline manager. I was responsible for facility operations as a frontline manager, which is landscaping, janitorial, employee development, holding employees accountable, scheduling conflicts, you name it. I had to manage a budget for the first time. And you know, all of a sudden, you know, I realized that the technical expertise that I'd built up all those years just wasn't enough. Was not enough to get me over this hurdle. I made mistakes, a lot of them. Tried to stay friends with everybody. And that was a bad idea. Yep, it's a bad idea. I avoided difficult conversations. Even worse I did. I kept jumping in to do the technical work instead of delegating it to employees. And that was probably the worst idea of all. But over time, with some mentors and a lot of trial and error, I figured it out. I learned that leadership is a completely different skill set. It's about communicating. It's about setting expectations. You know, it's about holding people accountable without destroying relationships. It's about always seeing the big picture. When everyone that works for you, they're only concerned with their one little piece of the puzzle. And once I learned that, my career took off. Eventually, I became a district manager. Let me paint the picture for you. I was responsible for operations across Tennessee, Arkansas, as well as Mississippi. over 300 employees, approximately close to 30 frontline managers, and 3 middle-level managers that coordinated it all. This wasn't about just managing people anymore. This was about managing managers, creating cultures, making decisions that could possibly affect hundreds of families. And here's what I saw. The same pattern that kept repeating itself over and over again. We would promote our best technical people, our best air traffic controller, our best technician, the people who knew the systems inside and out. And we would put them in charge of a team. And for some, within 6 months, we'd have a crisis on our hands. Either the person was miserable because they missed the technical aspect of their jobs, or the team was in chaos because the leader didn't know how to lead. Quite often what we would see or find, it would be a mixture of both. So what we were doing is we were losing our technical expertise, and at the exact same time, we were creating bad managers. So why am I telling you all this? I retired from the FAA. I could be out golfing, smoking cigars, traveling, but I can't let this go. The problems I saw at the FAA, I see everywhere. Technical expertise gets you promoted, and then you're expected to exercise figure-it-out leadership. And that's just insane. We spend years training people to be great at their jobs. Then we promote them and give them zero training on how to lead. And then we wonder why they struggle. So I'm building the Applied Leadership Headquarters. This channel, training programs, as well as consulting, all focused on one thing: helping professionals transition into effective leadership positions. Because you shouldn't have to figure it out the way that I did. You shouldn't have to make the mistakes that I made. You shouldn't have to wait until you're in a crisis to learn how to lead. This channel is for you if you were recently promoted to a management position and you're trying to figure it out. This channel is for you if you're thinking about moving into a management position, or if you're a business owner and you're trying to figure out how to get your employees motivated. I'm going to share everything I've learned over the last 20 years, the strategies, the frameworks, the real stories of what works and what doesn't. No theory, no fluff, just real practical leadership tools for people who came up through the ranks. So what can you expect from this channel? Every Tuesday and Friday, I'm dropping new content specifically for people that are leading teams. Next video, I'm breaking down the 5 deadly mistakes that new managers make and how to avoid them. These are the mistakes that can ruin your credibility within the first 90 days of leading your team. If you're a new manager, you want to watch that one. After that, we're going deep into difficult conversations and delegating, strategic thinking, all the things that no one taught you before they handed you that promotion. If this resonates with you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss the next video. We're building something special here, a community of professionals dedicated to being better leaders for our teams. Drop a comment below and tell me, what are some of your concerns right now when it comes to leading your team? Or if you're thinking about moving into leadership, drop a line and tell me what's your major source of hesitancy so far. I read every comment, and I'm going to use the questions and comments to guide future content on the channel. I'm Ivory Cooper. This is the Applied Leadership Headquarters. I'll see you next video. Until then, keep leading.